What is up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be going over the best loadout for Fortnite Zero Build, or what I consider to be the best loadout for Fortnite Zero Build in Chapter 5, Season 2. As always, if you guys do find this video helpful, informative, interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you like some more, and comment down below what you have been using or what has brought you the most success in Chapter 5, Season 2. So, for starters, we're going to talk about shotguns because they're kind of the staple weapon of Fortnite oftentimes. I made a video yesterday talking about which shotgun I think is best this season more in depth. In short, I think the Gatekeeper shotgun or the auto shotgun is going to be your best bet in season 2. Both are very good. The Gatekeeper shotgun is a bit harder to use, a bit more forgiving, and a bit more demanding as far as attachments go. My opinion of the Gatekeeper shotgun when I have the drum mag attachment on it is significantly higher than without, because the magazine size is kind of the main concern of this weapon at 3. Whereas with drum mag, you get 5, and the reload doesn't seem to be impacted much at all. You still can reload pretty quick. So if I have the Gatekeeper shotgun with a drum mag, that's my favorite shotgun in season 2 thus far. If I'm not able to get that, or like, let's say we're early enough in the game to where the attachment bench isn't open yet, the weapon bunkers that open in third zone, I have no problem using the auto shotgun. I think both are very good. It's just the auto shotgun is a lot easier to use and a lot less demanding in terms of how you play and like getting attachments. If you're not able to use the weapon bunker all game, the auto shotgun will be just fine. Like, it's not super demanding as far as that goes. But if you're not able to get to the weapon mods, like the Gatekeeper shotgun isn't going to be as good without the drum mag attachment. So I think both are good. They kind of have their pros and cons. I think the Gatekeeper shotgun has a higher ceiling. It hits hard and you can kill people really quick if you have good aim. But if you ever mess up, then you could just completely throw your game because the magazine size of the weapon makes it not very forgiving. Again, I posted a video yesterday talking about the shotguns more in depth. So if you want more thoughts on that, click on that video. It'll be linked in the description below. But I think either Gatekeeper shotgun or auto shotgun, great for zero build. For your ranged weapon, and we are typically going to be going for a similar style loadout of last season of shotgun, AR, sniper, heals, and mobility. With the Reaper sniper returning that same mold, it works great in this season. For your kind of medium range, long range spray weapon, I like the Warforged AR most in this slot. I did try the new SMG in this slot and it got the job done, but I wasn't a huge fan of it for range fight or shooting people out of the air, which will happen pretty consistently this season because the wings are a thing. The Warforged AR has felt incredible to me if I'm able to have a sight on it. Like, it's probably one of my favorite ARs in more modern Fortnite. Like, of the projectile ARs, it's either this or the Striker AR. The Striker AR isn't in the game anymore, so this is probably my favorite in the current loot pool. I have read a decent amount of comments from players saying it has too much recoil for them. I don't think it has that much. If you just pull down a little bit on your analog stick or your mouse when shooting, I think it's pretty controllable because it's mostly vertical recoil, and that tends to be the easier type of recoil to control. If it's kicking like up into the side and then you got to pull down into the opposite side, it's a bit rough to do that while tracking. But with this, just pull straight down a little bit and you'll negate most of that recoil. And then it's obviously super easy to control once you have the recoil reducing attachments like muzzle brake and vertical foregrip. So I will go for a similar style attachment setup to what I used last season on the Striker AR of 1.3x sight, speed mag, vertical foregrip, and then muzzle brake. I think that's, the way to go. But it just in general, I don't think the recoil on this weapon is that hard to control. But I have played first-person shooters for like many years, and a lot of other games like Call of Duty, Battlefield, Rainbow Six, like other first-person shooters that I've played, tend to have more recoil on their weapons than Fortnite. So Fortnite weapons just feel a bit easier to control for me. And if you have like a history of playing those games, you probably feel the same way. If you're newer to shooters, it can be rough, but just kind of try to build the habit of pulling down a little bit whenever you shoot the AR, and you'll notice that it is much easier to control once you kind of build that habit. And I think the Warforged AR is great. If you want to use the Burst SMG in this slot, if you like the new SMG, the Harbinger SMG, I think it's called, or the Nemesis AR, I think all are fine. I just like the Warforged AR most. For the sniper, the Reaper sniper rifle is the only sniper in the game, so that's going to be the one I continue to use, and it is very good. With the vaulting of the 2x scope, though, I feel like it kind of lost out on some of its mid-range. So I've been using the 4x scope the most, and I think that's what will work best for me. I haven't tried the 1.3 or the new thermal that much aside from opening day, so I may need to give them more time. but the 4X has felt great for me the past few days, and that's what I've been using, and I think that's kind of what I'm going to continue to use. It does have glint. The new thermal sight does not have sniper glint, so that might be something to consider. But even last season, I talked about with the 2X. I used the 2X just because it felt best to me at kind of doing medium range and long range. Glint was never a factor for me. It's nice to not have it, but I think the scope that's going to suit you best on the sniper is going to be the one you hit shots with most. And for me right now, that tends to be the 4X. Any of the other ones you like, that's fine. But with the 2X being gone, I feel like it does become a bit more of a choice where, like, if you want medium and long range, the 4X is ideal. Close range, the 1.3, like kind of close medium range, the 1.3 is good, but it can be a bit harder to use at long range. And then the new thermal would maybe be that middle ground, but it just felt weird to me when I was using it. I may need to give it more chance, like I was saying. So I've been using the Reaper Sniper still. I think it's incredibly good, and the 4X sight on it is great. If I'm not able to have a sniper, or if I'm early enough in the game to where I don't have a sight on my AR, then I have been using the DMR. I'm not a huge fan of the DMR at all. I never have been. I think the Reaper Sniper is just a better choice for this role. But early game, when you don't have a sight on your AR, and for whatever reason, I feel like, I'm not sure if this is true, but of the Warforged ARs that I've encountered at lower than blue rarity, I don't think there's any with a sight. So using the third-person Warforged AR at range is rough. So I would rather have a DMR than no long-range weapon at all, if that makes any sense. So early game, I will run the DMR sometimes, but I think once I'm able to kind of play longer and get the loot I want and get to the weapon mod benches, I think the Reaper Sniper is just much better for this slot for me at least. And like I said, I've just never been the biggest fan of the DMRs. With the sniper, you can peek for a fraction of a second, potentially throw out an insta-kill, or if you hit a body shot, you know, that's 100+ damage that you can push on. With the DMR, it's 60 damage on a body shot, which is fine, or 100 on a headshot, but like, I feel like the difference is there, you know, it's like double the damage, basically, double the effect. And so for this slot, I would like to use a sniper. If I DMR someone to the body once, I'm not going to want to push off that. Whereas if I snipe someone to the body once, that's something that I think is a decent opening to be able to push and then potentially end that fight a bit earlier. And then same goes with headshots. If you headshot somebody with the DMR, you can push off that just fine. But if you headshot somebody with the sniper, they're knocked or dead if you're playing solo. So I feel like the sniper is just clearly better. And if you've been sniping for all of last season, you're probably pretty comfortable at using the snipers. For heals, the fish are more inconvenient to get. So shield fish were the best healing item last season, I thought. They're still in the game, but you have to actually fish to get them because they vaulted coolers, and I'm typically not going to be doing that. So I would rather have big pots. Chug Splash have returned, so if I get 6 chugs, I'm down to use that, or Flowberry Fizz. I don't really have a huge preference one way or the other. Chug Splash and Flowberry Fizz obviously have the added benefit of being able to heal teammates, which can be nice. The Chug Splashes can heal white or blue, which can be nice. And then big pots are also just nice. The main kind of advantage of Chug Splash in the past was that you could use it while moving and you didn't have to complete a whole animation to get any heals. Because if you guys started playing in Chapter 5, you might not be aware of this, but back in prior chapters, if you were drinking a big pot, you couldn't move and you had to use the entire full 5 seconds to get any health. And that's what made Chug Splashes so good, is you could splash once or twice while moving, or maybe splash once, you see you're getting pushed, shockwave away, and then splash again. You know, you could incrementally heal over time. And with the heal rework of being able to use bigs while moving and get health from it over time, the Chug Splash are still great, but that like advantage it had over the other heals isn't as big of a deal in my mind. Like I said, I don't really care one way or the other. If I have bigs, Chug Splash, Fizz, that's all fine. It just depends on what I find. If I find 6 Chug Splash and 1 big, I'm going to take the splash. If I find 3 bigs and 1 splash, obviously I'm going to take the bigs. Kind of how I based my decision. Now we have one more slot, and in this final slot, it's going to be for mobility. Oftentimes in zero build, I think the mobility items are great. It's harder to push people in zero build because you can't build as you do so. It's harder to respond to bad situations because you can't build. So having mobility to push an opponent and take advantage of some opening damage you got, or to reset a bad situation, always been a big deal ever since zero build was out. The 2 main mobility items we have this season are going to be shockwaves and the wings. And I think shockwaves are the clear choice, as the wings make it very, very easy for other players to beam you out of the sky. I've never had an easier time tagging somebody out of the sky using a mobility item than these wings. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know if like the aim assist on them is broken. Like, if somebody's using wings, you get insane aim assist. Really don't know what it is, but I've never had an easier time beaming someone using the wings. Even if they use the dashes, it's definitely harder, but it's still much easier to get damage on them using their mobility than it is to damage somebody shockwaving or somebody using the grapple blade last season or the katanas. Like, as far as mobility items go, I think the wings are not very good as far as fighting goes. You can use them for getting around the map decently well, but if any enemies happen to be near you when you're using it, they're going to have like an easy time getting tags on you and potentially be able to progress that fight into an elimination. And also with Chapter 5, if you guys watch any of my content, I've thought the cars are incredible all chapter, the G-Wagons especially, because of how prominent snipers are, having that mobile cover at all times and being able to move around the map while protected. Cars have just been huge this chapter. And cars are also good for getting around the map quickly. So I'm not that inclined to pick a mobility item based on what's good for getting around the map when I'm already using cars for that anyways. You know what I mean? So I don't really care for the wings for that reason, at least in zero build public matches. That's what this video is about. That's what most zero build people or zero build players are playing. So for zero build pubs this season, I would like to use the Gatekeeper shotgun, the Warforged AR, the Reaper sniper rifle, heals, big chug splash fizz, doesn't matter to me, and then shockwaves as my mobility item. And that's what I found the most success with so far this chapter, and I think that's kind of what I'm going to continue finding the most success with. You can run a very similar playstyle to last season, especially if you use the Frenzy Auto Shotgun. If you use the Frenzy Auto Shotgun instead of the Gatekeeper, you can just slot the Warforged AR in where the Striker AR used to be and play basically the same, and it'll work out quite well. I think the Gatekeeper shotgun does have a higher ceiling if you take the time to get used to it and if you are able to get the drum mag attachment. But that is going to be it for this video. Hope you guys found this helpful, informative, interesting. As always, if you did, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you like to see more, and comment down below which weapon loadout or which setup has been your favorite so far in Season 2. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.